night overnight?
No, he has not. He's very, very energetic today at training, so whoever Hamish's close informant is obviously not close enough.
So do you have a full squad to pick from this week as you sit here right now?
Yeah, I think so, apart from Luke's still with us, but he can't be picked because he's not in the 31, but he's not going to go home until he's all his symptoms are gone, so he could be here for the rest of the week as well, but at this stage we have.
How much has your team improved since the last one you played South Africa, in your opinion?
It's a hard question to answer because we haven't played South Africa again yet.
You have played since that time.
Yeah, but each opposition's different. Obviously we've improved, because that was that team's first outing. As you remember, we split the squads and we're notoriously slow to start seasons when we come together. And, I think our last game's probably a better reflection on where we can play. But, South Africa will have improved too. So.
Can anything be read into the last time you guys played?
Yeah, both teams are pretty close. The last three games, I think we won. We won the next one right on the death nail, and they drew the last one right on the death nail. So there's not much between the two teams.
Where do you see the biggest change in the South Africans since Rassi's come along?
Their defensive system has changed a lot. They roll the dice big time.
And the rest of their game. I mean, if defence is the big thing, where
They're fit. To be able to roll the dice like they are, they've got to be fit. So he's got them fit. But to be honest, all my attention's been on our team. So those probably questions you should hop down the road and ask Rassi what he's done.
Is this the most challenging pool game you think the All Blacks have ever had at the World Cup, considering the opposition and how it's been in the last couple of years?
From a rankings point of view, it probably is, but they're all reasonably challenging, depending on what you're trying to achieve with them. So each game's got its own set of goals and things you want to achieve, and clearly this is going to be a big match because it's the All Blacks versus South Africa, which is traditionally a massive match anyway. And logic would tell you whoever wins this game, probably wins the pool, but as we found out in 2011, you don't have to necessarily win the pool to get in the final. France did it the other way. So it's not the end of the world, and it doesn't mean you're going to win the World Cup or get in the final because you win this game. There's a lot of water to go under the bridge. But having said that, because it's South Africa, it'll be a big game. And there'll be a lot of people nervous, media and fans and a few rugby people as well, I'd say. Both teams will be... have that nervous energy that's really good for building good performances.
And how difficult is it to start with such a bang? The World Cup you've often built up to it. Does that make conditioning difficult, that you've got to kind of not quite...
No, it's just made the planning different, Mick, in that, normally you wouldn't necessarily have to have the Tongan game that we had, or they had the Japan game. So both teams have recognised that it's not a game you want to go into underdone, so to speak, from a match fitness point of view. So both of us had that game. So we played 14 days ago and should be okay.
Sorry, when you say South Africa roll the dice, what do you mean by that exactly?
Do you watch them? Okay, so you watch them. You see the wingers come in off their wings. That's what rolling the dice is. I don't know what you call it. We up your way, but that's what we call it. And they're good at it, very, very good at it. So, you want them to roll a couple of ones rather than a pair of sixes.
What was the biggest learning for you guys out there?
You've got to be patient. You've got to get your depth right. You've got to have a decent kicking game. And you've got to have the right intent.
When you say your depth right, do you have to play deeper against South Africa the way that they defend?
No, you just got to get your depth right depending on what's in front of you.
Is mindset or motivation a little peculiar, Stephen, as you say, this is a massive pool game, but you expect to go through, win or lose, both teams, and you can get to the final, as you say, 20 win
We can get to the quarterfinals. You don't get any further than that until you earn the right to.
But because of that, does it make it slightly unusual? It's not a knockout.
Well, none of the round robin games are knockout games. That's the uniqueness of this tournament, that you get 4 opportunities to play where you have a life, so to speak. Then the tournament changes. Then you go, if you're good enough to make the quarterfinals, then it's, you front up on the day or you go home. And with the opposition that are out there for this tournament, the quarterfinals are going to be massive matches.
Before the Tonga test, you said you'd put your best possible team out there. Do you do the same against South Africa, or do you ease your way into the tournament? Save some powder?
I don't know that we put our best team out against Tonga. Well, it was pretty close to it, but I don't think we'll muck around too much with the selections for this one. I think we'll probably go for, everyone that's available will have earned the right to be there.
So those guys that missed the match with little niggles against Tonga will be back in?
Well, it's only Monday, and we don't know anything until Thursday. You just have to be a bit patient.
Are you clear in your own mind, though, with what your top...
Couldn't be clearer, Nigel. I'm very clear on what we want, and so are the other 2 selectors. So.
How nice is that in the city with that clarity that you guys like talking about?
Yeah, well, it's pretty good. Yeah, let's concentrate on other stuff, which is nice.
Like what?
Training, how we can get better.
What's the big improvement you want to see from the team?
The execution of our attack game.
How do you think the Japanese temperature or environment?
How's the Japanese environment been, Steve?
How's the Japanese environment been?
Yes.
Oh, outstanding. Great place to come and play rugby.
How do you think the temperature?
Good. Yeah, pretty much like New Zealand today.
How much will the weather affect the tournament?
Oh, look, I think everyone's done their own planning on that, and, if we could all control the weather, we'd be super humans, and we can't, and we aren't. There's going to be days when it's hot, and there's going to be days when it's going to be wet, so in your preparation, you've got to prepare for that. And, each team's done it their own way. I think some teams have gone a few months ago, or a month or so ago, to hot places, and then went back to the UK for some cold weather. Summer's not that hot in the UK, is it? Has it been a hot summer?
I think we missed it, yeah.
Yeah, and we haven't, we went to Hamilton and looked for a bit of heat there, and dial a friend, I can't have been answering that question any good. And we've done other things as well that I'm not going to tell you all about, but we think we've prepared as good as we can do, and since we've got here, we've had a mixture of everything. A couple of 30 days in the 30s, and weather like today. So the big thing will be the ball. That'll be the constant thing. It'll be humidity will be high and the ball will be wet. So skills will be really important. Yeah, well, kicking game's always important. You can't play a running game if you don't have a kicking game, because the kicking game shapes the defence.
Steve, speaking of the ball, I read a report this morning that Warren Gatlin's been putting baby oil on the balls to get it slippery so players can handle it. Are you doing anything else?
You want to rephrase what you just said then? You said Warren Gatlin's been putting baby oil on his balls. That's probably not the headline you want, old son.
Yeah. Have you been doing any out-of-the-box stuff like that?
Anything out of the box? No, we've just been using plain old water. Yep, seems to be working all right.
Just given the importance of the game, Steve, if you could do anything slightly different, like pull the reins back in the guys this week, just all bearing in mind what...
Yeah, well, that's right. I mean, it's a good question, actually. Because it's the beginning of the tournament and we've had a week where we've, with nothing at the end of it, this week's different, isn't it? And there's a big test match, a big box of chocolates at the end of the week, but you can't eat them on Sunday because there'll be none left for Saturday. So we've just got to take our time and get our clarity, get our intensity building during the week, and then arrive Saturday, full of energy and understanding of how we want to play and real intent. And so you can't play it early in the week. So you don't have to pull the reins, you just have to be aware of it, and the players are aware of it. We've already spoke about it as a group. And, everything this week's got to be short, sharp and pretty proverbially hot.
You keep an eye on perhaps the younger guys especially, the older kids would know.
Ironically, I think it's the older guys that you've got to keep in mind because they know what's coming, and they are really excited by that. The young guys they're still learning about World Cups and what's coming, so it's the older guys you just got to rein in.
Is it good then, to follow up Richard's question, is it good to have an older guy who's having his first experience at a World Cup like Ryan? Does that, does he provide a nice little balance or little...
Yeah, I guess he does, Nod, yeah. I mean, we get caught up with the fact that it's the World Cup. If you just remove that and say we're playing South Africa at the end of the weekend, it's no different. It's a big test match, it's a big occasion, and you can't play it Monday, Tuesday or Thursday. You've got to be ready to play Saturday. So add a little bit more spice in, I guess, because of the World Cup. There is a little, wee tweak there, but it's pretty much the norm for a big test match. And most of the guys understand, and even the younger guys that have been involved in big test matches understand that. It's just understanding that the World Cup doesn't make it different. I guess that's the thing.
Any last questions, or we wrap up there?
Do you expect the Springboks to go, given the basic framework, do you expect them to do anything right out of the box, Steve, or we always think the box, we know what is coming?
Yeah, well, they like to play, on the edges, the 20 metres, and then go back to the edge all the time, and usually they go to the middle of the park. The halfback will kick it into the corner, but if you go there just thinking that's what they're going to do, they're going to hurt you because they'll be devising their strategies and they'll be adding to their game as we are. So you just got to expect quite a few things really, and if they happen, then you're ready for them. If they don't happen, well, it wasn't wasted preparation; it was just good preparation.
How deep do you go into the bag of tricks? Like if there's a moment that you see, hey, here's a great chance to use one of our special strike players that we've been saving for the World Cup. Do you green light Kieran to flick that switch, or do you want to hold back because they can come in useful later in the tournament?
You just got to use them up, don't you? And keep finding new ones. That's the key. And like this, as everyone knows, is a big game and there's a lot of importance on it. So you don't want to be sitting back in the changes you're thinking, oh, we should have done that. Like you just got to go out and play what's in front of you, and if the opportunity to play one of the things that you think is going to be worthwhile playing, then play it.
Coming up with those yourself? Sort of sit there and move the old salt shaker around past the
Yeah, well, I got brought up moving this. I got brought up moving salt shakers, and you don't lose that. We're talking about it today at training, really. I mean, the jersey number's only a number. Shouldn't dictate what the player does, and I firmly believe you look at the skill set you need for the job to be done, and then find the person in the team that can do it, and don't be inhibited by A, a number, or B, a position.
So when you're thinking about those strike plays, you must have, someone suspect that you've probably got more options than most given the skills of some of your players.
Yep.
That's quite exciting to you.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, but you don't want to get too clever either. That's the danger of, like rugby games are won just by people doing their own job and doing it really, really well, and hopefully you don't have to pull something out of your back pocket. It's done. The job's done because you've done your role well, and but there's always set plays that you come up with, and we've got a few stuck away.
When you reflect back on that game in Wellington, Steve, do you take some heart from the fact that the All Blacks looked to create, and probably if the execution had been a bit better, there would have been tries coming from it, that you were close to breaking them?
Oh yeah, but it's a bit like the conversation that goes, would have, could have. The reason we didn't execute better is because their defence was good. So, are there opportunities? Yeah. Look, there's one thing I do know: South Africa will give us opportunities because they roll the dice. Are we good enough to take them? will the weather conditions allow us to be able to take them? They're all things that we'll have to wait and see.
Are you surprised or even pleased that the Springboks have found a way back up to the levels that they were at, that this rivalry is kind of back up there given where they were 2 years ago or 18 months ago?
I'm not surprised. I mean, every time we've played them, other than once in North Harbour, where we had a day out of the box, the games have been reasonably hard fought and tight, and we've just been fortunate enough to come out on top, a lot of the times. But they've gone through some challenging processes, but I think they're starting to reap the rewards of that now. And they're selecting a team, I think, on a genuine basis that they're all good enough to be there. And they had the Rookie of the Year last year. He's unfortunately not available now through his own misdemeanours. But they've replaced him with quality people as well. One wing scored 8 tries from 8 Test matches. So they've got some real quality athletes, I think.